Picture a bustling metropolis in 2600 BCE. Its streets are laid out in a precise grid. Thousands of sun-baked brick houses stand tightly packed together, and noticeably, there are no towering monuments to tyrants or massive palaces. You are looking at the Indus Valley civilization. At its height, this network of cities spanned 1.3 million square kilometers. That is a geographical footprint larger than ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia combined. To understand how they achieved this scale, we have to look back to 7000 BCE at a site called Mehrgarh. Over thousands of years, nomadic hunter-gatherers settled in the river valleys, transitioning into permanent farmers who cultivated wheat and domesticated livestock. Despite their massive size, these super-cities were completely lost to time until the 1920s, when archaeologists Dayram Sani and Rakhigarhi Banerjee finally excavated the towering brick mounds of Harappa and Mohenjo Daro. Researchers divide their existence into three main phases: an early foundational period, a mature phase of peak urban sprawl, and a late phase of gradual decline. We have spent the last century mapping their engineered streets and studying their architecture. Yet, because we still cannot read their script, the inner life of this society remains silent. The mature phase was defined by physical infrastructure. Cities used a rigid grid system, main north-south roads intersecting smaller east-west alleys at right angles. Building materials show consistent standardization. Every burnt brick was manufactured to a precise 1:2:4 ratio across the entire civilization. The urban layout itself was divided into two distinct zones. An elevated platform known as the Citadel housed public structures and administrative centers, while the general population lived in the sprawling lower residential towns. Below the streets lay an advanced sanitation system. Nearly every home connected to covered drains, built with watertight mortar, complete with access manholes for regular maintenance. In arid regions, their engineering adapted. At the city of Dholavira, you can see the scale of this massive stone reservoir, part of a complex water catchment system designed to capture and store monsoon rains. From uniform bricks to intricate drainage, the Indus Valley functioned as a standardized urban network, operating millennia ahead of its contemporaries. This infrastructure was powered by deep agricultural wealth. They cultivated wheat and barley in the river valleys, and they hold the distinction of being the world's first known growers of cotton. That agricultural surplus fueled intense commerce. The coastal city of Lothal featured the world's earliest known dry dockyard, connecting inland rivers to the sea and launching an international maritime trade network. We know this because their trading partners recorded it. Ancient Mesopotamian texts frequently reference importing luxury goods from a wealthy, elite land they called Meluha. They managed this commerce with mathematical consistency. Traders used a standardized binary weight system where the stone measures doubled in size, 2, 4, 8, 16, ensuring accurate transactions across thousands of miles. Excavations have uncovered no grand temples, no oversized palaces, and no elaborate royal burials. Instead, archaeologists found miles of remarkably uniform housing. This suggests a society where wealth was broadly distributed, centered on nature worship and clay fertility figures like the mother goddess. You can see the sophistication of their society in artifacts like the dancing girl. This tiny bronze statuette captures a relaxed, confident posture, with heavy bangles resting on her arm, achieved through advanced casting techniques. Or look at the famous Pashupati seal. Carved into stone, it depicts a three-faced figure seated in a yoga-like posture, surrounded by wild animals, a motif many scholars interpret as an early proto-Shiva. With no evidence of standing armies or weapon caches, the stability of these cities appears to have been generated through meticulous trade and cultural cohesion. This diagram shows the mechanics of the Indus script. Over 400 distinct pictographic signs were read from right to left, but it remains unread. Inscriptions average only 5 signs per artifact, making it difficult for linguists to identify grammatical patterns. There is also no known bilingual inscription, like the Rosetta Stone, to bridge the gap between their symbols and any known ancient language. Some modern researchers hypothesize that the symbols connect to the Proto-Dravidian language family used in southern India, but these theories remain unproven. Without the ability to read their words, we are locked out of their collective memory. Their physical ruins and leftover trade goods are the only voice this civilization has left. That voice finally went quiet around 1900 BCE. The street grids began to crumble, maintenance on the drainage system stopped, and these urban centers were gradually abandoned. Early historians blamed a sudden invasion. However, modern skeletal analysis shows a gradual cultural migration over centuries, rather than a massive, violent massacre. Scientific evidence points to a severe weakening of the paleo-monsoon system. This disruption of the seasonal rains destabilized the agriculture that supported millions. As the rains failed, the civilization's lifeblood, the massive ancient Saraswati river system, began to dry up and shift its course, leaving the giant cities stranded without reliable water. The inhabitants may have also accelerated the decline. To fire millions of standardized bricks, they deforested the surrounding landscape for centuries. The loss of trees triggered massive soil salinization, effectively destroying the fertility of their own fields. The population eventually migrated towards smaller, rural farming communities to the south and east. Their empty ruins remain as a physical reminder that no matter how mathematically perfect your cities are, no civilization can survive a fractured ecology.